Macmillan Audio presents Unlocking Your Inner Zelensky. Lessons we can all learn from an unexpected leader. By Jessie Asya Kanzer. Read for you by Natalia Payne. Preface. Do you think Zelensky is ready to lead his country through war? I was asked repeatedly in the weeks leading up to Russia's brutal attack on Ukraine. Mostly because I appeared in his movie once, and I too hail from the former Soviet Union. Is anyone ready for war? I'd answer with a smirk. My own grandfather was a World War II hero from Ukraine. Both my grandmothers survived the Holocaust. Folks were understandably concerned about Volodymyr Zelensky's lack of serious political experience. He was an actor and comedian before becoming president. And a great dancer, I should add. Have you seen his Dancing with the Stars win? War is serious, though. Comedy is, well, comedy. Yet from the moment Russia invaded his country in the early morning of Thursday, February 24th, 2022, Zelensky showed us that laughter and tears come from the same source, humanity, and he is a master human. As I listened to Zelensky speak in Ukrainian, as well as in my and his native Russian tongue, with such authentic emotion, such passion for all the freedoms we sometimes take for granted, I finally understood why I'd been so drawn to his story. I understood why I was compelled to dedicate to his masterhood an entire chapter in my first book, which, ironically, was released in those shocking first days of the war. My Zelensky, I'd referred to him then, not realizing he would become our Zelensky. But everything began to make sense to me as I watched this man in awe, together with the rest of the world. Why I, a spiritual searcher whose Jewish Ukrainian grandfather fought alongside Zelensky's Jewish Ukrainian grandfather, crossed paths with the man. I understood why I couldn't stop writing about him. Far more important, I understood why this comedic actor was propelled into the role of president just in time to lead his people through unimaginable terror. You see, Volodymyr Zelensky isn't simply a great wartime politician or Ukraine's remarkable leader. He isn't even the leader of the free world, which is what American news channels started calling him. Or rather, he's not just that. I believe Zelensky is a profound philosophical leader of our generation, one who'd been underestimated many a time, and that his influence goes far beyond the West or the free world or any other titles humans use to mark us and them. In fact, Zelensky was as quickly venerated in Afghanistan as he was in Europe, Afghanis saying they wish they'd had such a leader to guide them through their suffering. Without trying to be, perhaps without even fully understanding his role, Zelensky, much like the Matrix's Neo, was fated to show us the way. Which brings me back to my own way, the one I was hobbling to find for years after immigrating to America from Soviet Latvia, where I was born. And 20 years into my American journey, I happened to cross paths with the Ukrainian Neo. In 2009, Zelensky, then simply a comedian, was headlining his first big film, part of which was shooting in New York. This Russian rom-com called Love in the Big City was about Russian expats dating up a storm in the Big Apple. It featured leads from various countries that had once been part of the Soviet bloc. Bit parts in the film, meanwhile, went to actual expats like me, Soviet-born immigrants hustling for a version of the American dream. Whether you were there or here, the need to hustle remained. Still, it was fun to play in my childhood language as a grown-up. After shooting this movie, having portrayed the forgettable role of girl in sports club number 1, the lines I was to speak in Russian cut, I went on with my frustrating hustle until, eventually, I threw in the towel. I got a regular job, married a lovely American man, and settled down in a
Sample complete. Ready to continue?